Because there's one more thing. There's that pesky little substation next to the field. And it's an interesting story because it won't go away. And it's also interesting because no one knows really anything about it. It's a political issue. If you're left leaning, you think it's horse manure. If you're right leaning, you think it's compelling. I don't lean. I'm not political. So I just think it's an interesting thing. And I think it's a big problem for the 49ers because it looks like there could be some correlation here. The Niners have had crazy injury issues since 2014, and they've found no solutions. They can't figure out why. Well, here's one little variable you haven't accounted for. This massive substation. And can you prove that it has an impact on these players' ligaments and stuff? No. Can you prove it doesn't? If there's 0.01% chance that it has an impact, do you want to take that risk? Or do you want to move your practice facility? Do you want to move the substation? How much would it cost? And I think what's interesting is I would feel like, hey, I don't want to risk it. I want to show my players, if I were the owner, hey, man, I will spare no expense and I will take no risks with your health. If there is, even if it's hocus pocus hooey, I don't care. I want to show you guys that I'll drop any amount of money to keep you healthy. I think that would resonate with the, I mean, isn't that why the Niners have grass? They always puff out their chest. Well, a lot of teams aren't willing to spend the extra expense to have grass and keep it up, but we are because we care about player safety. All right, great, man. Well, then get rid of the substation or move. Ton just went down tonight. Kittle went down last week. I mean, but they can't move it. You know why? They can't move the substation. They can't move the practice field because if they did, that would be acknowledging that it's a problem. And if they acknowledge that it's a problem, guess what happens next? Lawsuits. Lawsuits from any player who was on the team the last 25 years or more. The substation's been there since 1988, so they can't move. What they have to do is ignore it and act like it's a bunch of nonsense. Meanwhile, every week another player goes down with some kind of soft tissue injury. So they can try to, influence the public and the fans and tell them it's no big deal. But what about when their own players are worried about this? What if George Kittle buys it? What if Nick Bosa buys it? Does Nick Bosa not seem like the kind of guy who would buy this, knowing what we know about his political leanings? Given how many times he's had ACL tears? If Bosa thinks it's a thing, if Kittle thinks it's a thing, then it's a thing that you got to address. God forbid someone asks him a question on the record about this. What are the Niners going to do? They're going to ignore it, and the injuries are probably going to keep piling up, and it's going to become a bigger and a bigger story. And it doesn't mean that the EMFs are the reason for this. It just means that they might be. And they can't prove that they're not. Can't prove that they are. There's just this, anecdotal evidence. Player after player after player. You think, hey, can't be too careful. Let's move. And yeah, but now you got lawsuits. So you're not moving. And most likely, look, I don't want to say that this is definitely contributing to the injuries, but if I were running the team that had the most injuries in the league year after year, I would definitely mess with stuff like this. There would be no stone unturned. Oh, there's a massive power plant next to our players. Maybe we'll move the players. And you know what? I will say one more thing. If this whole thing with the substation leads to the Niners moving back to San Francisco, then I'm all in with the conspiracy. They shouldn't be in Santa Clara. They shouldn't practice in Santa Clara. They shouldn't play in Santa Clara. They're not the Santa Clara 49ers. Santa Clara is a whole different. It's not San Francisco. It's 15 degrees warmer. It's basically Irvine. It's North Irvine, Santa Clara. They shouldn't be there. So if this forces them to go, you know what they should do? They should do a $3 billion renovation of Kezar. Wouldn't that be so freaking cool? Would it be convenient for anyone? No. Would it be feasible? Absolutely not. But that's what I want them to do. Go back to Kezar. That would be so freaking cool. You can't go back to Candlestick. You already built condos there. Oops. So I'm going to keep talking about this substation just to push my agenda of getting them back to San Francisco. I need to go check to see if I'm ever going to get my backpack back. That lady almost called the police on me, and I don't like it.